Roosters are some of the most interesting figures I think I've met sometime in the 4 years of my raising chickens experience. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about some pros and cons of raising roosters. And by the way, you can tell by the title, we're going to focus really heavily on the cons today. There are a couple pros though, but we'll get into those first. Be sure to like and subscribe. We're trying to reach 4K before July. Let's see if we can do that. First of all, the pros is that, first of all, they're pretty aggressive a lot of the time. So how is that a pro? That can also be a con technically, but how is that also a pro? Well, this goes a little bit like this. They're aggressive to literally anything and everyone and everything too. They gotta be aggressive to anything they see. If you like accidentally dumped a pile of rocks in their yard, he's gonna try to fly at those. He doesn't really know what to not fly at. So the roosters are going to kind of like be like that. They're gonna be aggressive. They wanna, I don't know why they think that like they wanna hit stuff so consistently, but I guess the roosters can do what the roosters wanna do. I'm not here to make fun of them for that. Unless it's my rooster Falcon, and I mock him all the time in my videos because of how terrible of a job he's doing. He does make the perfect rooster for my videos mocking roosters, however. Specifically him. I like all the other roosters except for him. I've had great roosters. 10 out of 10 roosters even too. Now the second pro of keeping roosters around is that yes, they're gonna help you get some baby chickens around because you know, roosters gotta do what roosters gotta do. And sometimes the hen is all for it and the other times not really. And at the end of the day, you get some nice baby chickens though, especially if you have an interesting cross between the hen and the rooster, because when you get that cross, you might get the perfect breed of chicken, at least the perfect color of egg. Keep in mind, if you want an olive egger, which is my personal color of egg, what you need to do is you need to take a black copper Marin rooster and an Easter egger hen, combine it together, and you get yourself some olive egger eggs, and they're really, really nice in my opinion. They're like dark green. But if you don't want any of that stuff, you don't want to do with baby chickens, you want to buy them from, not buy them, but like purchase them from like local hatcheries or Tractor Supply or whatever, then yeah, that's not really something you really want to have around. Pro is that they'll alert you if there's danger nearby, some of the times. Other people say that they've had a great success rate with this, but for me personally, I have never had a time. I've had maybe one time where my rooster actually notified me that there was issues going on in the pet flock. My other rooster, Waldo, who sadly passed away in July of last year, he was one of the greatest roosters and he fit all of these pros perfectly and more. In my opinion, he was the 10 out of 10 rooster. He had some humor, he was chill, he was everything you want out of a rooster. He was a black copper Marin, if you were wondering. He did sadly pass away due to a coyote attack, which is technically him doing his job, protecting the chickens. So I have nothing but respect for him. I pay my respects to him every time I talk about roosters in videos because it is important to bring him up because he's the dream rooster. It's also important to bring up my roosters like Falcon and Snow White. And even though talking trash about roosters that don't do their job is kind of funny, it also kind of like adds on to the video kind of a bit as well. Now let's get into some cons. In my opinion, I've had a lot of these met with a lot of my roosters. The first con we're going to be talking about today is that they are very loud and you have no clue when they're going to begin crowing. Because for some reason, their internal clock works a little bit different than everyone else's. During the winter time, he begins crowing at like, I'm not joking, like 5 in the morning. Like it's still pitch black out. The chickens haven't had one consideration of going outside anytime soon. Not until the sun comes up at like 6:30, they won't be going outside. But my rooster thinks, oh yo, it's time to crow. Like, could you please shut it? It's like 5:30 in the morning. I don't want to have to listen to my rooster crowing. I don't need to listen to my rooster crowing at 5:30 in the morning. However, at the very least, sometimes it can help notify you. Most of the time it's a false alarm, and sadly, a lot of the times, it will also cause you it'll also really badly annoy your ears, which in my opinion has already got me PTSD from standing outside at 5:50 in the morning during the winter time when it's like 32 degrees, cold, and maybe even snowing a little bit too. With my rooster, adding to the frustration that already is my morning routine during the school year. And earlier I did talk about his aggression, which I kind of said was a double-edged sword. It is a really big one. Because he's aggressive to anyone and anything, he can help defend your chickens from that rock that you accidentally dropped into their chicken yard, or he'll just throw hands with you for literally no reason. It's my rooster Falcon. He'll throw hands with you for literally no particular reason. The only reason he wants to throw hands with you is because A, you've done something to him that he doesn't like, which could be walking incorrectly, accidentally mocking something that he said, which I don't speak chicken 100%. I only understand some of the things that they're trying to communicate with me. Like, they're trying to tell me that there's something over there that they're going to have, or dust baiting over there. My rooster will literally attack you over literally the most petty stuff in recorded history. So, I just want to say, if you're ever near my rooster, don't mock him, don't walk incorrectly. You need to walk correctly. You need to keep your eyes away from him because he'll lunge at you. But trust me, it's not going to be that big of a deal because his top speed is maybe 6 miles an hour, and I can run way faster than that. And he doesn't really bring a whole lot to the table either. And why I don't like roosters is because he causes my hens some torture. You see, when mating season comes around for chickens, he'll tear up their feathers. Here, do you see my chicken Summer right over here? Do you see all her missing feathers there? It's because of my rooster Falcon over there. So yeah, this is my chicken Summer. Say what's up to the camera, bro. Alright, that's good enough. My chicken Summer says what's up to, like, the maybe 16 or 17 people that have watched this video in total. But at the end of the day though, my chickens have sadly had to go through a ton of torment because of my rooster. And if it was my rooster Waldo, they'd have significantly less missing feathers because he was like maybe 4 pounds. My rooster Falcon is 11 pounds. I haven't quite yet weighed him, but I have picked him up before, and I can say he is way heavier than the 10 pounds I use when I'm curling, which, let me just say, he is way heavier than that, at least 11 pounds, so that's quite unfortunate. Honestly, they are incredibly bipolar when it comes to their job. Some roosters do their job excellently with no complaints, and there's also many other jobs other than just protecting the chickens. It's also keeping them in order and taking as little feed as possible, which is why most roosters are in shape and look like they hit the gym daily, and why other roosters, you could tell, are out of shape, can barely walk. You can tell don't hit the gym every day. My rooster Falcon and Snow White, prime example. Snow White was like 9 pounds, Falcon's like maybe 12 pounds. So I think Snow White was like 8 or 9 pounds. He was my rooster. You could tell by the name he was supposed to be a hen, but he really quickly went through a growth spurt. And then he started crowing. I don't know. He was like 16 and a half weeks old when he began crowing. Same with Falcon, except he was like 18 weeks when he began crowing. So, with all that being said, my rooster Falcon doesn't really do his job. He takes the feed away from my chickens. He'll take like literally half of the stuff for himself. Like, he thinks he's like taking cuts from my chicken's feed. If you don't know, roosters usually take maybe like 5% of the feed. Every chicken usually takes like 10 to 15% of the feed. He takes a little bit less than them usually. My rooster Falcon over here, on the other hand, not so much. He takes a little bit more than 5% of the feed. I'd say more like 45% of the feed. So my chickens have to usually evenly divvy up the amount of feed they have for each other. Not just feed, usually treats. And yeah, that's why roosters are incredibly bipolar. But I'd say if you get yourself a good breed like a Rhode Island Red, a Barred Rock, and not an Easter egg. Certain varieties of Easter eggers suck. Technically a Green Queen is still an Easter egger. You know how much I love talking about Easter egger roosters and how incredible they are. Only if you get an Easter egger that looks like my Easter eggers, like Chicka, whatever that brown chicken's named. She doesn't really have a name. Or like my old chickens BCT and Chicken Burger. If they look like that, then they're probably gonna be good roosters. And even black copper marins. If you have like roosters that have a tendency to be like just horrible roosters, like Green Queens, specifically from the year 2021, and also especially bantams, they're even worse supposedly, then you're probably gonna have to deal with some issues with your roosters coming up in the near future. Hope you enjoyed this video, bro. Like, I'm trying to reach 4K here by the end of the summer. 4K hours coming up soon as well, hoping to do that. Trying to get back on that 2022 consistency, which was peak in my opinion. Uploading, I think I missed maybe 3 days that whole summer. So we're trying to do again this year, so be sure to click the video on the screen. One of them, there's only one video on the screen. It's my documentary from last night, which teaches you about suburban chicken homesteading. So if you're interested in that or just want to help support the channel, you can click on it. Or if you want to see some really high effort videos on the other side of the screen, there's about, I think, 44, 45 of them. You want to click on that over there. It's also pretty high effort videos, all video essays and documentaries. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you tomorrow.